What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Welcome to Young Butt Refrigeration. Welcome to Young Butt Refrigeration. If y'all tune in, I hope y'all consider subscribing, like the video, share with your friends, family, or whoever. Today, we're going to be looking at Business Insider, and today's topic is exposing the dark side of America's AI data center explosion. Now, I have been hearing stories and seeing where these data centers have been a havoc on homeowners. Rather, they have like private properties, or if they in neighborhoods and all that. I heard that these data centers are a huge havoc. A lot of people want these places to stay away from where they lay. If y'all don't know, these data centers, man, they require a lot to stay running. If y'all don't know, these data centers and all that, they store like our photos and other little stuff, especially with this AI. We want to do some AI stuff, is doing all that. So, and it's holding a lot of information for like businesses, like for the government and all that. And these places right here are heavily guarded, believe it or not. But I look at these data centers as a big behind motherboard and stuff, just a lot of servers in one freaking room. And like I said, with all them computers and all that, it produces a lot of heat, so a lot of energy, like to keep this area like at a consistent temperature and all that is very important. Let me know if y'all worked on some data centers before, or let me know if y'all installed some. But I believe data centers been out since ever since. We just a lot of stuff just coming out to the light. But usually these places are very hidden and stuff. But now they are like exposed, like in people's backyard. It's drying up people wells. These data centers taking up a lot of water. Electricity is raising the electricity bill around people. Noise pollution. I heard that the units or whatever are super loud and all that, where it got like that humming noise. And then you got light pollution and stuff, where most of these data center them lights be bright, really bright and all that. So a lot of people was against it, and a lot of people is for it. So anyway, I also want to talk about something like these data centers. I know they really hot in Virginia, like that's the capital of data centers and all that. They got a lot, I believe over 100 or something, and then you got some data centers that are starting to pop up in Georgia. You got some, like Cali and other places and stuff, but they are very hot in Virginia and all that. But anyway, I want to talk about one. I don't know if anybody's seen this one particular post or anything, but it was a house. It was a house somewhere like this. I'm just using this map right here because it seemed like the same layout. But it was a house right here, right? And all this was like farmland. And over time, they started building subdivisions all around this guy house. And he just had a long strip, and all this was a subdivision and all that. And he wouldn't sell it, but I'm guaranteed if he did, this whole area would have been covered. And what was so crazy, they had the road like stop right here as if he would, sell it in the near future, and so they can just continue. So I'm like, dang, that's kind of crazy. But this how the data centers remind me. They just popping up everywhere around neighborhood. Like this could be a whole neighborhood right here. They decide to put a whole data center right beside it and stuff. I don't know. I don't get it. But anyway, let's get to it. This video. Let me know y'all input down below. So let's get into it.
Giant warehouses are popping up across the US, more than 2 every week.
Oh yeah, well, data centers, warehouses in general, like my area, they having a whole bunch of warehouses, subdivisions and all that, and it been messing up like the water quality and all that. I know we had like 2 water advisories before, but it's just due to the construction that's going on and stuff that's messing up the water source and all that. So with these data centers that's going into these areas, it can make a huge impact and all that.
They feed AI algorithms, store photos, and answer our questions.
All right, so store photos and all
A
that.
data center campus like this can consume as much power and water as an entire city. And many of the biggest server farms are emerging from the desert.
Oh yeah, so they got some in Arizona and all that, which is even crazier. Boy, I know them HVAC
But
systems
there's no
working.
official record of how many of these are being built, where they are, or even who owns them.
You gotta think about y'all putting data centers out in the desert, and they, yeah, shoot.
To be honest, I've never really run into so much resistance for records than this project.
Big tech companies often go to great lengths to hide the details. So we decided to build a map.
What we
I'm gonna have to look at this map too
is
whenever I get a
system
chance.
to see not only the individual location of each data center across the country, but also where they cluster.
And for some, these clusters are appearing too close to home.
Ah, shoot. I want to kind of go back just a little bit. Hold on, y'all watch
Decided
this.
to build a map.
What we designed is a
I'm just
system
taking it back real
to
quick,
see,
real
not
quick.
only the
I
individual
want to show y'all
location
something.
of each data center across the country, but also where they cluster.
All right, guys. So right here is a whole neighborhood, like a subdivision right here, and they are literally putting a whole data center right here by a neighborhood. Like, do they not think about the zones and stuff? And I bet officials and all that be making like shortcuts, because I feel like it's just the money grab and all that. But somebody manipulating some zones and all that gotta be. Anyway, let's get into it.
And for some, these clusters are appearing too close to home.
Bro, look at that. Y'all, look at that, y'all. Imagine you bought a home. Your house is right here, and you got a big behind data center right behind you and all that. Just imagine that. Look how tall this thing is. Let me know y'all thoughts. Imagine y'all standing in these homes and they decide to build this crowd right beside you. Remember, light pollution, bright behind lights, noise pollution, and also your water source, having water issues and all that.
We went to meet people who say having data centers next door is affecting their health.
I had a hard time breathing, I couldn't sleep. I thought I was losing my mind.
Summertime is more of a during the winter it's like almost like an engine trying to start.
So how many data centers are there in the US? And is there enough power and water to satisfy a building boom that is only just getting started?
Where I am standing now is at the middle of the data center capital of the world. This is Loudoun County, Virginia, otherwise known as Data Center Alley.
Oh, see, I told y'all Virginia. I knew it was that one freaking county. I forgot what.
And it may
I
not
just
look
said
like much
Virginia
from
and all
down
that.
Here, but just take a look from up above.
These are
All right, guys. So right here, I believe these are like some HVAC systems right here, and got to be like some exhaust fans or whatever. But anyway, hopefully it'd be cool if they
Amazon data centers.
talk about it. But
Zoom out and you can see tech companies tend to build data centers in clusters, where there is a reliable power supply, access to enough water, as well as tax breaks and affordable land. But of course, these tend to also be places
oh yeah, that's why I'll be forgetting. Yeah, them tax breaks and all that. That's the reason why. Yeah, that's one reason.
where lots of people already live, like Santa Clara County, California, or the most heavily populated part of Arizona, Maricopa.
Look, bro, you got houses and then you got a data center right there, like literally. Arizona amazes me, like how they built a whole city in a desert. And I went through a desert and all that when I was over there. Boy,
Maricopa County. And of course, here in Northern Virginia, the most densely populated part of the Washington, D.C. metro area, and one of the largest and fastest growing residential areas in the US.
Yeah, I mean, I was the fourth homeowner in this neighborhood, fourth to occupy a house in this neighborhood.
Donna Gallant has lived on this street in Prince William County, Northern Virginia, for the last 30 years. All very peaceful until 2021, when things started to change. These are Google data centers, and ever since they started rising from the ground, Donna has been looking for answers.
There's no transparency, and
With the data center companies or with local authorities? Or
both. So anytime you ask a question, it's, oh, we signed an NDA, we can't talk about it. Oh, we're under NDA, we can't talk about it. So there's no transparency at all.
The site isn't complete yet, but she says the noise is already taking its toll.
When I go to my room at night, the tonal noise immediately triggered.
yo, we got some
I
long
ended up
time, so
having
y'all
to
might as
go
well
down
go in and
on
get
my
y'all some
first floor
food or something.
and put noise canceling headphones on just so I could sleep.
And I'm gonna try not to pause the video too much and all that, so we can just watch it through. But let me know if y'all watch Business Insider and all that. So shout out to Business Insider.
But for Donna and her neighbors, this is just the start. Over the next few years, they will find themselves surrounded by a string of new data centers.
That's gonna go from this road here all the way and around my neighborhood. That's where the data center is gonna go. And that's gonna be 75 feet tall, dead smack in the middle of a neighborhood.
Zoom out a little more and you can see this plot of land. It was originally meant for housing, but in 2023 it was rezoned to clear the way for the construction of data centers instead. Prince William County already has over 70 data centers. But if
70.
the master plan for a data center opportunity zone is fully realized,
Like I said,
together
it's a
with the
cash grab.
opportunity to the north,
Gotta be.
they'll have more
for
data
them
centers
officials.
than Russia. Donna set up a local campaign to challenge the rezoning, but the lawsuit was dismissed.
What I told y'all.
Yeah, it's heart-wrenching. It's heart-wrenching.
What I told y'all.
Do I have ill feelings towards the data center industry for that? Yes, I do. I think we all need it. It's the way the world is going. But do I think dropping it next to people's homes is the right answer? No.
Nah.
There is no definitive public directory of data centers, no official map, no single regulator to ask, or government agency to FOIA.
So, it's been really tricky to kind of get these records because the companies don't want to disclose all of that information.
By tricky, we mean redacted records and requests denied on the grounds of trade secrets. It turns out there is one thing that most data centers need: backup generators, in case the grid fails. And anyone who wants to install a generator needs to apply for an air quality permit.
So what we set out to do was request all of the permits that are issued to data centers for those backup generators.
That meant filing public record requests for air permits in every state. They list the capacity of the generator, so we can extrapolate the power needs of the data center. They also provide clues about who owns it. Take this hotspot rapidly expanding close to Columbus, Ohio.
There are at least 164 emergency generators permitted here. This is a data center where the air permit was applied for by an LLC called Magellan Enterprises LLC. But the company has applied for a trade secrets exemption. So they were actually able to redact pretty much all the information that we wanted.
But all of the big tech giants must disclose any companies like LLCs that they own. And by digging into their official records, we managed to pull back the mask. And it turns out that the data center in Ohio,
It's not Magellan Enterprises LLC, that's actually owned by Google.
this is a task we repeated hundreds of times to build this map. It's the most comprehensive tally to date of America's exploding
I'm glad they still got people like this. I'm glad they do. Like digging deep behind stuff like this. I'm glad we still got people like that.
data center industry. Every dot is a data center large enough.
Because all I do is just inform, a person like me, who is like into this stuff, or just have a question mark of why, we always gonna have a question about something, so we always gotta know that why, and just to have this extra information on that, man, it just makes things 10 times better,
enough to need a permit for its backup generators. These are the facilities either already built or approved for construction at the end of 2024. We reached a total of 1,240 data centers. That's nearly 4 times the number in 2010.
The companies that use the most
That thing
amount of
might
power
double
data
now.
centers across the country.
Might be
Probably what
7,000.
surprises you are Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Meta, and QTS.
Of the data centers we pinpointed, 177 belong to Amazon.
Amazon, of course. Amazon pretty big though. Amazon, I like Amazon, so.
And we've just passed the huge Amazon data centers behind us, and already we're straight into a residential area. And you can start to see why these data centers are so controversial. Those boxes on the roof there, that's the ventilation for the cooling systems to keep those hundreds and hundreds of servers from overheating and overloading. And these are running 24/7. And there's nowhere else in the world with a higher density of data centers than here in Loudoun County, Virginia.
And I feel like that
As much as a
AI,
third of the
that's what's
planet's internet
causing
traffic
all
flows
these
through the
bad
centers
boys to
of
pop
Virginia.
up.
The 329 data centers we tracked together consumed almost a quarter of the state's electricity in 2023.
And look at them HVAC units, yo.
Tight security by the looks of it. We've got pretty high fences with barbed wire on top. I don't think we can get much closer.
It's rare to get a glimpse inside one of these server warehouses. We contacted dozens asking for a tour. Eventually, a small company called Lunavi in Wyoming said yes.
Hey, Courtney, welcome to Lunavi. Well, come on in, I'll show you a tour.
This 35,000 square foot data center is tiny compared to the largest ones in the US. Those can stretch to well over 1 million square feet. Lunavi offers cloud services to customers like betting apps, mapping companies, insurance, and healthcare businesses. Zoom out and you can see that the location is no accident. Cheyenne, the capital of Wyoming, sits on an east-west internet superhighway. The city is also well connected to renewable energy generated by these wind farms. Wyoming is only a small player compared to Virginia, and to attract more, the state is offering generous tax breaks to encourage the big tech giants, like Microsoft. This large data center began emerging from the map south of Cheyenne in 2021, and this is a site belonging to Meta, just over the road.
You're currently within the critical infrastructure space of Data Center 2, designed to have 800 cabinets roughly at full capacity on that side. So we take the air from the above ceiling grid, we feed it down through the computers, they heat the air up, comes back out the back and up through the chimney above ceiling, and then just continually circulates the air on that perspective.
Lunavi has the space to scale up to the more energy-hungry GPU processors used to train AI algorithms.
So this big white space is future computing. The cabinets in this facility now have a capacity of something like 5 to 10 kW. If they want to build the ones that are going to do AI with graphic processing
Bro, y'all hear all them servers and stuff?
units, GPUs, that'll
Now, this kind of remind me, I did work on like a server room before, and bro, I'm talking about bro, but y'all, them things, when they get hot, it get hot, and you got to keep the rooms cool and all that. So imagine a much bigger scale with all these servers, man. Oh my goodness.
Something like 70 to 100 kW.
GPUs do need more power, but they can complete more tasks than a regular processing chip and in less time. The lower ambient temperatures in the high plains of Wyoming mean data centers use less energy and water to cool themselves. Lunavi say they use around 500,000 gallons of water a month when at full capacity.
500,000 gallons? Full capacity? There's about a trillion of 1 trillion gallons of water.
That's roughly the
If you
amount
think
of water
about it,
used
man.
by 200 people.
Oh my! Like if you multiply all the data
Nice
centers
cool
that's using,
ambient air
oh, man,
temperatures
about
allow
1
us to
trillion.
maintain a low PUE, which is a power usage efficiency, which then allows us to just be a lower cost center for our customers and pass those savings on.
But this area has been plagued by droughts. So farmers are watching the data center campuses emerging to the south of Cheyenne and getting nervous. This is a story unfolding not just in Wyoming and in Virginia.
Even the farmers have to be nervous. That's crazy. Can y'all just take a second to think like, we got data centers replacing farmlands? Think about that. That's a setup right there.
But across the country. The average American holds hundreds of gigabytes of data in the cloud. Big tech companies, the healthcare and finance sectors, governments, of course, hold much more. We're talking zettabytes of data being stored, processed, and retrieved every day. 1 zettabyte is 1 trillion gigabytes.
God damn.
Of course, none of this lives up in the clouds. It's stored in large warehouses on the ground. This graph shows the explosion of data centers in the US in just the last 20 years.
Alright guys, so this is like the ventilation and HVAC systems above this data center right here. Let's continue.
Remove the roof and you can see what all the fuss is about.
Then you got all these servers right here. Just computers in a room. It's crazy. A lot of people ain't digging it, man. They really not.
Out. Rows of computer servers performing calculations, training AI models, or storing data. Your social media accounts, photos, and videos live in a place like this. All these machines need power, a lot of it. So do the building's cooling systems and water.
Oh my goodness. So we got backup power, which are the generators and all of that. Then we got our substation right here. Then we have our cooling towers right here. I believe that's where the water's stored at. And then we got the ventilation system and all that. See how this goes.
The largest data centers can consume over 2 terawatt hours of electricity a year.
Damn.
Enough to power 200,000 homes. And just in case the power cuts out, data centers have
They got backup.
batteries, as well as those diesel generators that they need permits.
6 of them.
The byproduct of all that energy use is heat. In many data centers, massive cooling systems suck out hot air and pass it through air conditioning units in a continuous loop.
So it sucks out the hot air and it gets ventilated and all that. Wow.
Most common type uses chilled water to absorb
Chill
heat
water.
and release it from a cooling
Wow. It uses chill water. That's where all the water going at, y'all.
tower. The cooling systems and fans emit a constant drone. The noise level is generally below the limits permitted for industrial zones close to residential areas, but these were never designed with the 24/7 drone of modern data centers in mind. Listen to this. The ambient sound of Dulles Town Center in Northern Virginia, recorded on a phone. Three Amazon data centers sit roughly 200 meters away. I ran the audio through noise reduction software. Only then do you realize that hidden behind the drone of the data centers, there is birdsong. About 20 miles south in Manassas, Virginia, Carlos Yanis measures the noise from his local Amazon data centers.
But again, it's pretty much what we were experiencing.
And that's just from your deck out there?
That's from the deck.
So what sort of reading are we getting?
So right now it's stabilizing, but of course we're talking.
He does this twice a day, usually in the evening, and logs his readings with a local residents group. This has been his routine for the last few years.
It's
Damn.
not something
Last
that
few
you
years.
just hear. It's something that you just feel, and enough to the point when it's really, really strong, you can even hear the windows vibrate.
He spent $20,000 on insulation and replacing all the upstairs windows.
20
Still,
grand
the
on
sound
some
and the feeling
windows?
of the
God
constant
damn.
hum keep him from sleeping.
I'm getting bombarded each and every night. And again, I can feel it, even if I talk.
Hey man, like I said, I feel sorry for any homeowner who has to go through stuff like this. That's why I'm like, if I get a home, I gotta have the perfect location and all that. I gotta have the perfect location. Cause I would hate to get it home and then some stuff just come and get in your way. So, I don't know, man. I just don't know. Stuff like this is like, oof. Not that I have a fear, but it's just like things, to think about and all that. Hell, even if you do have land on a private property and all that, something could possibly still occur. Somebody might want to build something around you or something crazy. But that's at least likely, depending on the area you in and all that. But like I said, anything could change over time and all that. Anything. I mean, even if you in that like proximity, like say you got a house and it's ducked off somewhere, or maybe your neighborhood or whatever, if you got like a data center nearby or anything that requires tons of power and water and all that, and you have a well, then you screw.
Touch the wall, you could feel the vibrations.
Unless you do like rainwater or something, collect that. I mean, if your area rain a lot, or use solar power. I mean, it's so many different variants and all that. But damn.
The American Public Health Association says chronic noise exposure can lead to serious health problems like cardiovascular disease or increased stress. Carlos's son started having nightmares.
I think me hearing that would probably increase stress. I'm gonna be honest. Like, just, I don't know. I gotta go there to like the feeling and stuff. I'm on the other side of a computer, so them, I'm pretty sure they stressed and all that. If you constantly hearing a same droning noise and all that, eventually we get tired and all that. Kind of remind me like if you go in like in the motor room with no earmuffs on, you just go in there. That thing could like mess with you and all that. And if you know you know.
Recently, with my kid, he's 7 years old. He was waking up a few times. I was trying to figure out what was going on. And one day he told me, Dad, there's a spaceship outside. And as a father, it's terrible because I can't do anything about it.
Since replacing the windows, they've also tried white noise machines. At one point, Carlos moved his whole family down to the basement to try to escape the vibrations.
Had to use his family. He had to move his family
After
to
the
a
local
basement.
Homeowners Association raised concerns to county officials and Amazon executives, they initially tried to muffle the sound by putting material around the fans on top of the buildings. When that didn't work, they replaced the fans themselves with taller exhaust vents.
I mean, at least they try to do something about it, though. I give them some type of credit. Cause usually some, big companies or anybody, they wouldn't give a damn anyway. I give them some credit. They try to muffle the sound. I believe these are like the exhaust fans got to be, but taller vents. Let me see what they say.
The noise level did drop, but Carlos and his neighbors say they can still feel the vibrations from the data centers.
Okay, so it's
An
taller.
Amazon spokesperson told us the centers operate well below.
So taller, it reduced the noise, but they're still feeling it and all that. We saw meaningful reduction in noise. Well, that's good. At least they did something about it.
Sound levels. Meanwhile, Carlos feels stuck. He's worried that the data centers will reduce the value of his home, and he'll never recoup the money he spent on it, even if he decides to move. And it's not just Amazon to the north. This is what the neighborhood has coming down the line in the years to come.
I'm not against technology.
I'm not gonna lie, that's typical. It just kind of reminds me of like a lot of warehouses where they got a lot of neighborhoods around and then neighbor houses. But these data centers and stuff, we talking about that's like producing noise and all
I'm not
that.
against growth. I'm not against what data centers can chip in to the counties themselves. I just believe we're crossing that fine line that they need to be out away from homes.
Yeah, I agree. I don't have no problem with them.
All of these data centers require huge amounts of water, and that's not so much of a problem where there is plenty of water to go around. But in places of drought and water stress, like Phoenix in Arizona, where my colleague Dakin went, there it's a completely different situation.
That's why I don't understand. Like, how the hell y'all gonna put data centers out in the desert and stuff, knowing damn well y'all gotta use tons of water? I don't think they think about people. I don't think so. Ain't no way.
Proposed site for a new data center here in the southwest of Arizona. From what I understand, the only way they're going to get water here is drill into the ground and use groundwater.
As the Colorado River makes its way south from the
That
Rockies,
groundwater
its
gonna get
precious
depleted.
water is siphoned off for agriculture, industry, and housing. Since 2000, river flow has shrunk by 20%. So by the time it reaches Arizona, every drop counts. These maps show how extreme drought has gripped the state since 2000. Zoom out and you can see the entire southwest is drying up. And then, if we overlay the map we've built, you can see the mega thirsty data centers moving in. This Microsoft data center was built in 2019, and over the last 3 years, one has become 5.
Directly across the street is the new Microsoft data center
Y'all
that's
can
being
hear-
installed. Some
y'all
of these
can
data
hear it.
centers on the outskirts of town are really farmland that's being plowed under.
Damn,
for
them
the
things
purposes of
loud.
the data center.
And as you can see from the air permit documents we requested from the Maricopa County Air Quality Department, this cluster is likely to be huge.
We're looking at a total of 280 generators at this facility, so it's a huge amount for a combined capacity of almost 800,000 kilowatts. It's located in an area of extreme water stress, and also we can see that the major basin that it's drawing most of its water is coming from the Colorado River.
Documents show that Microsoft planned for each of these buildings to use 1 million gallons of water a day, a total of 1.83 billion gallons a year. That's enough water for roughly 61,000 Americans, or a city the size of Santa Cruz, California. All this in a desert-like
Santa
climate
Cruz.
that is getting hotter and drier every year.
And what we found is that up to 43% of data centers, and this is our largest data centers, are located in areas of high or extremely high water stress. And that's really shocking because data centers require a huge amount of drinking water to be able to cool their servers.
You heard right, hundreds of thousands of gallons of drinking water. More than half of Microsoft's and nearly half of Amazon's data centers are in high water scarcity areas. In many cases, big tech companies have flocked to the desert to take advantage of a string of generous handouts, including tax breaks, affordable land, and cheap electricity.
Tax breaks, affordable land, and what you said? Let me go back.
More than half of
cheap
Microsoft's
land.
and nearly half of Amazon's data centers are in high water scarcity areas. In many cases, big tech companies have flocked to the desert to take advantage of a string of generous handouts, including tax breaks, affordable land, and cheap electricity.
Okay, cheap electricity.
But trying to find
Okay,
out
yeah.
how much water these data centers need has been difficult.
A number of these permits, companies apply for what's called a trade secret exemption, but we've been excited to get around 50 records that really show the granular utility metered water use of some of the largest data centers in the country.
Take this example, a Google data center campus in Midlothian, Texas. Records show it used 160 million gallons of water in 2023, about the same as a small power plant. And this Kyndryl data center outside Boulder, Colorado, used 84.5 million gallons of water that same year. As this map shows, droughts are common here too. In Arizona, water is tightly regulated, whether it comes from the Colorado River or is pumped from underground near population centers. But each smaller municipality can decide how it uses its water allocation, and in many parts of the state, there's little to stop companies from sinking their own wells. The big players, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and Meta, have pledged to be water positive by 2030, meaning they would restore or save more water than they use. But this is only possible via an elaborate system of water credits, or offsetting. Basically paying other people to save water or mitigate water pollution on their behalf. Another big player is QTS, a supplier of data centers where businesses can rent space for their IT infrastructure. According to our count, the company has 34 data centers in the US. QTS say they are investing heavily in water-saving technologies. But not every aspect of their operations can...
Oh boy. Y'all look at it, man. Wow. Damn. All this amazes me right here, bro.
serves water. This is a QTS data center in Aurora, Colorado.
Some of these data centers are using more water to irrigate their grass outside than they are to cool their servers inside.
An Aurora water official told us this one will need 1.1 million gallons of water a year just for this landscaping, double the amount used by the building itself. And even if a data center
need landscape
cut
for?
back water use, it's a trade-off.
For example, just air conditioning of some kind or closed loop systems, you're not going to use as much water, but you are going to substantially increase your overall power demand. So it's kind of this balancing act where there's no real win here in terms of how resource intensive these data centers can be.
If you add up all the power needs of the 1,200 plus data centers we tracked, together they could soon consume more than Poland did in 2023.
Data centers, particularly driven by AI, could use as much as 600 terawatt hours of power by 2028. I mean, it's a magnitude that we've never really seen across the country before. It's really startling.
As states race to fuel the AI boom, some are reversing their green energy promises and turning back to power from coal and natural gas. In Nebraska, the two largest electricity utility companies committed several years ago to net zero emissions from electricity generation by 2050. But just this single metadata campus in Springfield, Nebraska, could use as much power in a year as 400,000 homes. One of the state's largest public utilities voted to postpone closing down 2 coal-fired power plants here in Omaha. This image, created using satellite data in June 2023, shows a plume of CO2 emissions released from the North Omaha Station facility at an estimated rate of 300,000 kilograms per hour. And in 2025, the utility decided to build 2 new natural gas plants, all to meet spikes in electricity demand, mainly driven by data centers. And let's not forget the thousands of backup generators we tracked, which, even if they run for just a few hours a month, spew harmful pollutants into the air.
That means that utility providers are either abandoning their commitments or significantly stalling their commitments to move away from fossil fuel. They're not going towards renewable energy sources such as solar or wind, for example, because those resources right now can't sustain the massive power consumption demand.
Big data center developers have announced massive investments in renewable projects like solar plants, wind farms, or nuclear power. For example, in Pennsylvania, Microsoft has struck a deal to buy power from the notorious 3 Mile Island nuclear power plant when it reopens in 2027. The plant suffered a partial meltdown in 1979. But just like with the water credits,
Damn, 1979. They decided to open that thing in 2027. Oh boy.
big tech companies are also looking to offset their carbon footprint by paying others to deliver renewable energy to the grid on their behalf. The big question is, can the already fragile and fragmented grid support it? And if massive infrastructure upgrades are needed, who picks up the tab? Amazon, Microsoft and Google told Business Insider they were committed to paying their full share for upgrades to grid infrastructure, like high voltage power lines. But there's plenty of evidence pointing to the fact that costs are already being passed on to customers. In Virginia, Dominion Energy disclosed that it would need to roughly double its electricity generation by 2039, mainly to meet demand from data centers and electric vehicles. The expansion could cost up to $103 billion, increasing residential electricity bills by as much as 50%. Despite the burden on the grid and on water supplies, some states are doing all they can to attract data centers into their backyards. Many regions simply don't want to miss out on the AI boom or the kudos of having a big tech employer on their doorstep. So far, though, the promise of large numbers of jobs has not materialized. A Business Insider analysis found that even the largest data centers employ fewer than 150 permanent workers, and some have as few as 25. But the tax breaks keep on coming.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you don't need that much
What we
employees
found is
anyway.
that massive corporations are benefiting from various taxes in different states for their data centers.
Looking for an easier way to get that LLC next to your business name? Say hello to Taylor Brands. Just go to their...
We tracked 37 states offering tax incentive programs to data centers, like zero tax on building materials, machinery or equipment, but also preferential rates on water and electricity. In Virginia, 56 data center projects received tax savings of almost $1 billion in the 2023 fiscal year alone. Take a look at these data centers in New Albany, Ohio.
In 2017, SideCat went to the city of New Albany in Ohio and said, we are going to build 2 gigantic data centers on about 300 acres of land. In return, could you please give us 100% property tax abatements for at least 15 years? And the county said, okay. By our estimate, SideCat LLC received at least $60 million in foregone taxes. And then, everybody found out that SideCat LLC is not a mom and pop data center company, but was Meta, the parent company of Facebook.
The rollout of AI across industries, from social media to medical care, will accelerate data center construction. In 2025 alone, Meta planned to spend at least $64 billion on facilities and equipment, Google $75 billion, and Microsoft $80 billion. And the ultra-powerful computer chips driving the AI tools will consume more and more energy. The 2024 Department of Energy report
I think that was
estimates
West
that
Virginia, not
electricity
Virginia,
driven
Virginia.
by the AI boom could soon require as much as 12% of total US electricity use. In
Yes,
2023,
it's
was
West
just over
Virginia. Damn,
40%.
never mind, ain't Virginia.
For those like Donna living
That's where they had the
alongside
coal at in
state farms,
West
there are
Virginia.
decisions to be made.
I don't think a lot of my neighbors truly understand the severity of what's to come. And I'm hoping to be out before that happens. Breaks my heart, but I can only fight for so long.
Dang, just
And then
imagine
I'm gonna
having
wave
all the
white
memories
flag,
and all
I'm gonna
that,
Pack up and I'm gonna leave.
and you have to leave everything behind. Oh, what usually happens? I've seen this before. Usually, when these big plants build around a neighborhood, over time, the people in that neighborhood really can't really endure the stress that them plants are causing on their everyday lives. So usually, them neighborhoods will either end up abandoned, and then once abandoned, they probably knock all that crap down and just build right over it like it ain't nothing and stuff. That's what stuff usually do happen and all that. I was trying to think about this one particular story where something happened where a company came around the neighborhood or built by it or in that area. Everything got abandoned. Some odd reason something happened and they just wiped the community out. So I don't know. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts down below. But I give them credit. At least they trying to do something or try to do something to help eliminate some issues like with that droning noise and all that. But it still don't change the fact that it's still right in the backyard. That's what they claim and all that. No water for cooling, but if y'all not using no water for cooling, what the hell are y'all using it for then? That's what I'm trying to think. Oh, I forgot irrigation. Hell, y'all need all that water just for some irrigation and all that. Agreement was based on okay, so I'm guessing what was above them data centers was like some big old exhaust fans and all that. Which these are some exhaust fans. I get tired. Anyway, guys, it's gonna be pretty much it. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts about these data centers and all that. I mean, I think they pretty cool and all that. Yes, we need it and all, but to build it directly behind like somebody's neighborhood or right beside it, knowing that them areas was for homes and all that is crazy to me. That's what get me. And I seen another story. Another video before. I might have to try to find it and look at it. But these two older couple, they had a house, land and all that, and they've been living in it for years. And then next thing you know, they got like a data center right behind them and all that. Like, it was just so crazy. They barely had water pressure because guess what? Who's taking all the water? That damn big old plant right in their backyard and all that. They noticed an increase in their electricity bill. Oh man, like, could you imagine that? Like, that's a nightmare right there. But people only care once they go through it. A lot of people will be like, well, it ain't my problem. But once it happened to them, that's when people care and all that. And that's when people want to do something. So anyway, I'm just doing this, just to share out and all that. And I've just been seeing it and always been a fascinating situation and all that. Like, damn, this is actually crazy and all. Really is. But what really get me is Arizona and all that. Y'all putting data centers out there. I know the electricity cheap. I know the land is cheap. And I know y'all getting some big tax breaks. But dang, to build in a desert and y'all is still using so much water, knowing that the water is very scarce and all that, is scary. I don't know. That's just me. That's just my 2 cents. But anyway, that's gonna be pretty much it. Y'all can watch the full video. I want to see what are these comments talking about and all that. Let's say, so refreshing to see that investigative journalism isn't dead. Yeah, that's why. Our city just blocked one of these. The homeowners in the area signed a contract when they built in the area that it would be medical and regular business. They try to push this through by only giving the residents a few days notice of a meeting to allow the bill. They all showed up and voted it down, which we all thankful for. A kudos. Let me see. The almost no coverage is almost shocking. People were. Oh, let's say people worried that AI will take their job. Meanwhile, AI is busy taking much more than just jobs. Yeah, of course, the resources and all that. Of course, yeah. I'm pretty sure nobody is scared. We went to Elon Point. So giving massive tax breaks to the richest companies in the world so they can employ 6 people and drive to the utility races. Genius. Oh man, he ain't lying, man. Like, I could see if the thing provided jobs, but like, you barely got enough employees. Well, you only got a selective amount of I can't even talk. You have a selective amount of employees. Like you said, 6 people, but they say what, 25 people? Man, this thing got me lost in words right now. Let me see. He said, I spent time in Altamont, Oregon, about a football field's length from an Amazon massive data center. There's on the Columbia River. The sound was unlike anything I've heard. A constant, deep, vibrating hum that gave me a worse anxiety and unease. You can feel it in your chest. It is both loud and muffled at the same time. Dang. The idea of power kudos to the group. Absolutely insane that there isn't analysis and coverage on this. Shell companies, we don't need AI in the first place. U.S. love companies and hates its people, doesn't it? Yeah, I don't want to get into that, bro. I mean, I can't, man. I don't know, man. I mean, we took the animals' homes and all that. If y'all think about it, like the deers and all that, we did deforestation and stuff. So we bullied our way in to have a civil life, and then now we got these big old AI companies coming to bully us and all that at some point, depending on your area and all that. But man, this would be pretty sketchy. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, guys, if y'all made it this far, I hope y'all consider subscribing, like the video, share with your friends, family, or whoever. I'm just giving my 2 little cents just right off the back and all that, just being me and all. So, and just using common sense and all that when it comes to this stuff. I've been on the data centers and all that for a little bit. Like I said, I've been fascinated about it, you know, especially with this AI stuff coming out, man. Boy, been fascinated, but nothing ain't new under the sun. Data centers and all that been about. I wonder when they started. I want to say somebody had, because like back then it wasn't noticeable or anything. It was like pretty hidden and stuff. But now, you know, times are changing and stuff. They are being exposed, and like I said, stuff is just going up every day. Was the first data center built? The 1940s. Oh well, yeah, you do gotta think about the U.S. Army and all that. 1945. Yeah, like I said, no data centers are not new under the sun. So I should have known like the military and all that had the data centers. Yeah, so from the 1940s, ooh, yeah. Anyway, guys, this is gonna be pretty much it. Y'all be safe and peace. I'm gonna get this video out to y'all, and yeah, see y'all.